Hello, it's Mike, NoStressMike.com. I want to do a little bit of a response to a comment that I had. Um, uh, they asked, because I've not only, like I say, I've had a kind of a full youth, and that now as I got older and wiser, most stay away from me, I'll put it that way. But when I was younger, it was bad, and I was talking about it, and he mentioned, how come I didn't go to jail? And because I say I didn't even, when that video, I didn't even talk about everything that I've been involved in. But I say I busted up bars, and I've been tore up pretty bad. And I mean physically. I mean not all the fights. I'm alive, so it means I've survived the encounters I get into. But like I say, I've taken a beating to get through them. My wife, she would patch me up a lot of times, especially when I was training SWAT. She couldn't believe how much I was tore up, and like I say, she'd patch me up. But also, even before that, back in those days, and I'm talking in, for me, most of my troubles were in the mid-60s up into the early 70s. And at that time, my kids were born in the mid-70s, and they were $500. It cost me $500 to have a kid. And now, I don't have any idea, but I'd say it's probably well over $5,000. And I don't think having a kid has changed all that much. So, but like I say, a lot of people don't realize the inflation that has gone on, and that's part of the corruption that's making all this stuff happen. But like I say, when I was a kid, for one thing, we never went to the hospital. Seldom you go to a doctor, and never go to a hospital. I mean, you are right one step from death before you're in a hospital. You're probably 2 steps from death when you go to the doctor. Nowadays, we've been taught that we're stupid. This is what I talk about 911. When people call 911, all this is so then you don't have to take any responsibility. You pass that responsibility to somebody else. Whenever you pass responsibility to somebody else, you get weak. Taking personal responsibility is how you get strong. And this is what's been happening to our society. Even now, we are taught to be scared. You know, I mean, that's one of the things on 911. You know, you dial 911 because you're too stupid, you're not capable of handling the situation. And but you know, now it's you know, you can't do anything. You're incapable of protecting yourself. These are all things they're teaching society, especially our young people, not to take personal responsibility. That's one reason why, you know, I talk about the three-man militia, and you know, there's not a lot of people that want to get involved in taking personal responsibility, because the three-man militia is based on preparedness, and a lot of people don't do the preparedness thing. They're like I say, I guess they just don't think they're capable. They have been taught to be stupid. And you will see the ones that are in preparedness, they do think. They do know things and understand things that most people don't. And it's not all that difficult. I talked about the baby, having a baby. That's life. Someone was at an accident. Helicopter come pick them up. Having a baby is not that tough. I've assisted once, and it wasn't that big of a thing. You know, you just got to kind of understand. And like I say, we have cows. You know, having a cow baby and having a human baby. You know, baby having isn't all that difficult. But there's, and like I say, we patching, getting yourself patched up. I never really used stitches. I never had to stitch myself up. But plenty of times I probably could have used stitches, but at the time I was young and wasn't really prepared. So I just kind of tape things up. Tape it up, or like I say, glue, super glue. These are things that is called upon when you take personal responsibility. And but I say in the 60s, you know, if you go to the hospital, you can go to the emergency room, and you know, $20-$30 to go to the emergency room. Because what are they going to do? Just, you know, stop the bleeding, patch you up. You know, I mean, how complicated can this be? Nowadays, you look around in the emergency room, you're going to see a lot of people that aren't really in the way I look at the human body. They shouldn't be there. They're not educated enough to care for themselves. I mean, you're talking. There's people there with a fever. Got a fever. You know, your kid's got a fever. You don't even know how to take care of a kid with a fever. You know, I mean, these are things that we all learned as parents. But I guess nowadays, you know, parenting isn't a skill like it was when I was younger. So there's, and in those days, you had a problem. And like I say now, you know, you get bullied, well, go report the bully. You know, I mean, hey, let's make a wimp out of your kid. Go report them. Here, that's what 911 is. You're just reporting. You're too stupid. You're not strong enough to even take care of yourself. So report them. You know what I mean? In my days, we fight them. And like I say, in the circumstances I get myself into, it's not just one bully that I'm dealing with. And so, you know what I mean? Taking personal responsibility takes effort. You need to think. You need to do your homework. You need to prepare. Man, I don't understand. I mean, you know, how much food do you have set back? Dehydrated food, canned food, and all this stuff. I mean, how many months can you and your household survive without going to the store? You know what I mean? This is stuff that's, you know, I don't understand. I don't understand. Especially, like I say, I'm out in Oklahoma. I'm out in the country. Now, just still, the country folk are still got enough sense to have a pantry full of food in case you have a storm and you're stuck out here for a few days or 2 or 3 weeks. So, but other than that, even the city folk, they don't. I don't think city folk have a month or two of food. You know, so, and water purification. You know what I mean? I don't understand how people not be prepared, and they're not ready to handle the consequences. They whine when it was their fault for not being prepared, and if they get hurt, they're seeking help, and for minor stuff that they really should know. These are things that we need to think on and understand. And I say, getting all these, so many of these problems that we're dealing with now shouldn't even be a problem. It's just nobody's taking responsibility over themselves. Think about it. This is Mike. NoStressMike.com.